Announcements from the state.
Ryan Gerber for the state of Texas.
From the,
Brandon Lopez for Mr. Hall.
and are you Brandon, I'm sorry, are you Jeremiah Hall? All right, the court is in receipt of a violation report. Defense, did you have a chance to review the pretrial violation report?
Your Honor, I did review the report and I just had a chance to speak with my client about it and I'll answer questions.
All right, state, have you had a chance to review the report?
I have, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Hall, we have this violation report, and it appears from what I've seen that you've violated your GPS. All right, and it shows, I didn't know that it could do this, but it shows that you were driving at 75 miles per hour, then at 72 miles per hour, and these are on roads, not on the freeway. And the last I checked, I don't think in San Antonio, there's a 75 mile per hour speed limit. There's a 70 as you get further down the highway, but not on the roads of San Antonio. And then there's the 68 miles per hour, and that's on Blue Wing Road. So I would like to know why this is occurring. So we need to address first, why did he violate the inclusion zone? And second, why is he driving over the speed limit excessively?
And I'll explain you can ask him questions, Your Honor. I talked to my client briefly at 5:07 a.m. or the time that's indicated that he leaves his house. He got a call from his twin brother who was broken down on 410 South. If you look at the map, 410 South right before you reach 37 South. He leaves his residence and you can follow the path of the map. He leaves his residence, goes up 281, goes on to 410, picks his brother up right there on the side of the road who had a blowout, comes back down 37, and then cuts over the back way back to his house. So if you look at the numbers as they go around, it tracks as they circle around back to his house. As far as the speeds, I would imagine 281 and 410 have those speeds. I don't know exactly. I read through the addresses. I didn't get the indication that those were tied directly to the spot where they took that speed. It looked like that was a speed that was taking en route to there. I guess I would have to ask the GPS officer how to interpret that, but I think it would be indicative of the proper speed if it was 281, 410, 37.
74 miles per hour?
I think 281 south of 410 is 75 mile road zone.
This is Chavano Road.
And see, I see that, Your Honor, but I also see numbers going around. And I was having a hard time connecting what that meant to where that speed was taken. But I did talk to my client. He understands that even though it was an emergency in his mind and his brother's mind, that he cannot be leaving in GPS. I asked him why he had such a flippant response for the GPS officer that called, and that's it. And he said, I was panicking. I left to go pick him up. I knew I shouldn't, but he was panicked. And I said, well, that's the reason we're here. I mean, you got to explain yourself. You don't have the option to tell somebody it's my business. You know, don't pay attention. He understands the seriousness of why we're here today. But the explanation does seem to track, Your Honor. Like I said, it's his twin brother who had just recently been, I think a week or two ago, lost a couple of fingers in an accident and I was having a rough go of it. I think if those factors combined hadn't been present, he might have told him to find another way. But he did what he thought was right at the time, which obviously was wrong. You know, retroactively looking at it.
Oh, bless the patience of the court, because if sarcasm were a gavel, it would have banged a long time ago. Imagine being a judge, listening to a guy wearing a GPS monitor as if it's just a fashion accessory, casually clocking NASCAR speeds through local streets to save his twin brother from a roadside meltdown. And when asked why he blew off the rules, I was panicking. Oh, sure, because nothing screams responsible decision-making like breaking multiple conditions of your release in the name of sibling heroics.
All right, is there anything you wish to say? Just 1 second. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. You need to keep your voice up so that I can hear and so that the court reporter can hear. State your name for the record.
Jeremiah Josiah Hall.
All right, what would you like to say?
No, I was wrong, but I felt like it was right because he had nobody else. I pinned him down.
All right, you're trailing off and lowering your voice. I didn't hear the end.
Pinning him down.
All right, defense, do you have any questions?
Yes, if you were faced with a similar issue, what would you do? If he called you again and was broken down the side of the road? Would you go get him? Yes or no? You would go get him? I didn't hear you. Do you understand that when you're on GPS house arrest, that you have to stay home? There's no, aside from the house being on fire, you cannot leave the house.
See, I thought some GPS would be like, you can go, but like you have a curfew.
But did you understand you don't have a curfew on yours?
No.
Well, do you understand now that
Yes,
you don't have a
yes, sir.
curfew? All right, and if you have to go somewhere, you have to check on your GPS office and they have to give you explicit permission.
Yes, sir.
And so you can tell the court today that there will be no further offenses.
Yes, sir.
State,
If you did have a valid reason because you felt your brother was in danger or something had happened to him, why didn't you just tell the pretrial officer that?
I panicked, sir. I was panicking. I really didn't know what to say. I just,
But if you panicked, why did you tell them it was none of their business?
sir, I really don't.
I can't hear you.
I honestly don't. I was panicking. Honestly don't.
You understand that it's only their business to know where you are and to make sure that you're abiding by the rules that this judge gives you while you're on pretrial.
I did not know that, sir. No, I didn't.
I
I do
repeat
not.
it.
I do not know that. Now I do.
all right, so just one second. You're gonna have to speak up because I know that when you're talking to your friends, you're not mumbling.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're gonna have to keep your voice up so that I can hear you, so that the court reporter can hear you, so that your attorney can hear you, and so that the state can hear you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so don't trail off when you're speaking and lower your voice. Keep it up here so that we can understand what you're saying. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
The judge has indicated her concern with the speeds that are recorded on that. Why were you driving so fast?
I was just trying to help my brother. I had nothing else on my mind.
What was the information you had that you were going, what were you going to go see your brother about? Like what had happened?
Yeah, going out and almost crashed on the guy. So I went to go pick him up.
But do you understand that you driving those type of speeds puts other people in danger?
Yes, sir.
I'll pass it on, Mr.
Any other questions?
No other questions. I just wanted to add that his mother is present, not to come and make excuses for him, but she was aware of the incident with her brother, with his brother. That was not aware that he left the house to pick him up. I don't know how that works, Your Honor, but that's the information that's given.
How old are you?
Oh, the courtroom deserves a standing ovation just for enduring this tragic opera of mumbles and maybes. Here we have a defendant on pretrial house arrest, treating the rules like they're optional suggestions in a group chat. When asked why he broke the law and the speed limit, his explanation was so vague and whispered, you'd think he was auditioning to be a ghost. The judge, trying to pry coherence from a sea of I don't knows and I was just trying to help, practically had to remind him how vocal cords work.
18.
You're 18.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, have you ever been in a court before? All right, so here's the thing. There are rules that you must follow. If you don't follow the rules, you know what's going to end up happening or could potentially happen to you?
Jail.
Yes. And you know when we would see you? On whatever date it's set, and you'll be brought over in an orange outfit. Do you want that to happen? All right, you have a curfew. And what that means is you need to be in your house. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Communication is key. All you had to do was call the pretrial services officer before you rushed and left and say, my brother has been in an accident. I'm the only person he has to go pick him up. May I go and pick them up? And then that answer was going to be either yes or no. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When you're on GPS, I know people live by this rule that it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. When you're on GPS, you must ask for permission. It's worse if you ask for forgiveness after the fact. You understand? So what is up with these speed limits?
I wasn't even thinking. I was just trying to get my brother as fast as I could.
What type of car were you driving? Everybody knows the vehicle that they're driving.
Avalon. Okay.
Hmm?
Avalon.
All right. And is that your vehicle?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Whose vehicle is that?
My dad.
All right. So is that your father's only vehicle? Now, what would have happened if you would have wrecked that vehicle? Are you on the insurance for that vehicle?
No, ma'am.
So you know what that means if you would have wrecked that vehicle? That means that your father would have had to pay whatever damages, because his insurance was not going to cover an 18-year-old driving these speed limits in his vehicle. Do you understand? And you know what that would have meant? That would have meant whatever amount that your injuries or whatever amount of damage that was done, your father would be on the hook to pay for that. Do you understand? State, what are you requesting?
And if I may I ask him one more question?
Yes.
You did mention in the court that you've never been in a courtroom before, correct?
Yes,
But you had a case out of Travis, correct?
yes, sir.
You had a robbery case,
I think it got dismissed.
but you were on bond for that case when this case occurred, correct?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I think it's just a situation where I don't believe that he understands the seriousness of the court's instructions to him, that it's not something where he's just able to decide whether it's appropriate for him to disobey the rules of the court, depending on what he thinks is important, and then afterwards tell the people who are supposed to maintain control of his whereabouts that it's not their business. We think that that's concerning, just from a matter of someone who we have to trust that he has to follow the rules that you've given him. And for those reasons, I think that it's something that maybe we should consider putting him on. Is he already on full GPS, I assume?
Not on full, no, he's not.
Then I guess at least the state would maybe ask for full GPS until he can establish some track record that he's going to go and stay where he's supposed to go and not show the, I guess, the judgment that he showed on this particular situation.
And here's my concern. I know that your father didn't give you permission to use his vehicle. And since your father didn't give you permission to use his vehicle and you're driving erratically, well, that's wrong of him. But I don't think he did. I think you're just telling me that because you think I want to hear it. But here's the problem. You're on bond for an unauthorized use of a vehicle. And now you're out here riding in outrageous speeds in your father's vehicle that you are not covered for on the insurance. That's concerning. So what should I do with you? Do you think it would be fair for me to issue a judge's warrant and we can just hear your case while you're at the jail? Because I know you don't want it, but you've violated the court's rules. And this is serious. I'm sure your attorney would tell you that there could have been an accident. So what do you think I should do with you? Because you made a contract and your contract was you're going to be on GPS and you are not to go to any locations unless it was approved by GPS. And you violated that contract. And when you violate contracts, that means that maybe you can't be trusted. You understand? So what do you think I should do?
Oh, this poor 18-year-old really thought court was optional, rules were suggestions, and just helping my brother was a universal excuse for reckless behavior. The judge, with the patience of a saint and the precision of a surgeon, laid out every single consequence like a real-life moral compass in a black robe. I mean, this young man violated GPS terms while already out on bond for unauthorized use of a vehicle and drove like Vin Diesel on a family rescue mission in a car he wasn't even insured to drive. The judge didn't even need to raise their voice. The sheer logic roasted him better than any gavel slam ever could. If tough love had a face, it just gave him a second chance and a reality check for free.
No, you knew the rules. All right, let's stop pretending. You knew the rules. The rules were you're on GPS. And you know how I know you knew the rules? Because this report that I have, it says, please be advised that the defendant chose not to explain the reason he left his home zone. The defendant stated he has privacy and that it was an emergency involving his brother. No further details were provided. That sentence tells me you know what the rules were.
Partially of them.
No, you knew that was the rule because they called you. And if you would have been concerned and would have been following the rules, when they call you, you would have said, I didn't know what that's the rule. I'm on my way back home. But you didn't. And what I get is the defendant left his home zone and went joyriding. Now I realize joyriding, that's someone's interpretation. I understand that, but you left your zone. What are you working? So what do you do all day?
I'm around the house.
Doing what?
Dishes, anything I could do.
Mhm. All right, defense.
Your Honor, I believe my client's been on GPS for how long? Is that close to a year?
Yes.
And in that time, he has not had other violations. We understand the seriousness of that violation at current. Our request of the court would be, I believe this admonishment has woken up my client to understanding the seriousness of this. We're asking that you continue him on the current level of supervision. And that he understands now, I believe, that any step off the line will mean that he's gonna wait out his trial while in custody. But I believe the previous 12 months or 11 months of following the rules is an indication to the court that he's capable of doing such.
All right. Anything else further from the state?
No, Judge.
All right, I'm going to place you on full house arrest. And just so you understand what that means you're not to leave your house. If there's a barbecue in the backyard, they need to bring that plate inside the house to you. You understand? You're not to be, if somebody tells you, hey, we're barbecuing, come out and watch the grill while we go do A, B, and C. You can't do that. You're in the house full time. You understand? All right, I'm going to continue with the same conditions of the no contact, and it's full house arrest. Of course, no firearm possessions, and I'll waive the fees.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and we're off the record, Brenda. So where are we with this case? Is this case headed to jury trial?
I'll talk to Ryan and
We
we'll-
can talk. I don't think we talked about that part of the judge, but we can confirm.
All right, if you guys can confer and just remain in the courtroom. And where's your mom? Hi, Mom, can you come up, please?
Let's take her.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you for coming down.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so he is not to leave the home at all.
Yes, ma'am.
If I receive another report where he is outside the home, what may end up happening is we may end up hearing your case while you're in an orange jumpsuit. You understand? All right, you have any questions about anything? Do you understand what's required of you? All right, just have a seat with your mom. You need to apologize to your mom for bringing her down here for this. No, I'm serious. You know, you need to apologize to her.
Wow. The judge delivered that sentence like a gourmet 5-course roast, slow-cooked, well-seasoned, and served with a side of, "Don't test me again." I mean, this kid tried the classic, "I only knew part of the rules" excuse, like he was being quizzed on a pop-up street law exam. But the judge wasn't having any of it. Calmly dissected every lame excuse like a pro, reminded him what full house arrest actually means. Spoiler, backyard BBQs are canceled. And even made him apologize to his mom, who probably aged 5 years just sitting through that nonsense. Honestly, this wasn't a courtroom. It was a masterclass in sit down and learn how consequences work.